Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is SCP Day, and it's SCP-178 this time. 3D specs. And this one's Euclid. I think this is the first Euclid class that I'm looking at here. I'm pretty sure everything else is Keter. Did I say that right? Keter? But yeah, let's take a look.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be studying today is SCP-178. Object Class, Euclid.
Here are 3D
Special
specs.
Containment Procedures.
A very old pair.
SCP-178 is to be stored in a Class 3 anomalous object container guarded by no fewer than 2 armed personnel with Level 3 clearance when not undergoing testing.
Okay.
Item is to be removed from containment only with written permission of personnel with Level 4 clearance or higher.
That's one
Following
way
Incident
to
178-14 Alpha, all tests are to be monitored remotely, and the presence of all personnel, apart from test subjects, in the testing area during experimentation is expressly prohibited.
Oh. Why?
Description:
What do you do?
SCP-178 is a pair of white stereoscopic 3D glasses with a rectangular white cardboard frame and lenses of transparent blue and red, left and right lenses respectively, plastic. The item exhibits
That's
no
3D
unusual
glasses,
physical
yes.
properties, apart from a slight discoloration of the cardboard consistent with age. When worn, the wearer begins perceiving large bipedal entities in addition to its ordinary surroundings.
Oh.
Entities reportedly exhibit a
Okay.
docile and occasionally curious behavior.
Let me guess. If they know that you can see them, they're gonna rip you in half or something, right? Is that what's going on here? And they can Can they only what's the word? Can they only like God fucking what's the word here? They can only interact with the real world when they're being perceived with these glasses, is that it?
Reports include entities leaning over the shoulder of persons working and observing them with interest.
Oh.
With one exception. Any attempt by the wearer or any other personnel, see Incident Report 178-14 Alpha, to directly interact with the entities results in severe lacerations suddenly appearing on persons involved. The appearance of lacerations is rapid and continues until the moment the wearer expires. The pattern of lacerations is always consistent, with being slashed with 3 parallel, tapered sharp objects of lengths varying between 14.2 and 27.4 centimeters, and maximum thickness varying between 2.9 and 8.1 centimeters.
You mean slashed by T-Rex or
Recording
what?
and measuring devices used during testing failed to detect any anomalies, including while lacerations were appearing on subjects.
Okay, I guess I was wrong, so they don't freak out and start killing you. I guess some kind of invisible secondary entity does that for them.
Subjects do not report hearing any sounds emanating from the entities. Long-term observation of subjects exposed to the item reveals no lasting effects.
Okay.
Stereoscopic images viewed through the item appear 3-dimensional.
Oh, they still work as 3D glasses too, I guess.
Addendum 1.
Okay, so apparently as long as you don't try and touch them? Or wait. Maybe interact. So does that count? Does trying to talk to them count? Or is it just kind of, trying to be touchy?
Item was recovered in Tennessee by Agent operating
They pulled it off somebody's corpse, didn't they?
as a deep cover agent in the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, who arrived in the town following reports of a 8-year-old child being found dead in a second-floor bedroom, apparently as a result of an unusual mauling. Agent noticed a blood-stained stereoscopic image of a Ferris wheel adjacent to where the child was discovered. After some searching, found the item under the child's bed where it had apparently been thrown during the child's death throes.
I guess taking it off doesn't stop
then
it, huh?
proceeded to call a recovery team to his location. Following the recovery team's arrival, Agent wore the item and looked at the image, reporting nothing unusual until he turned his head to his left.
Oh, that's gotta surprise the hell out of him.
An entity approximately an inch from his face, leaning over his shoulder and looking at the stereoscopic image. In the debriefing, Agent reported also noticing several other entities in the room.
I'm surprised he didn't throw like a punch as soon as he saw that, because he would have died. But yeah, I'm surprised he was, calm enough not to attack it.
Room, observing him and the recovery team. Agent refrained from attempting to interact with the entities, and the item was
That's a good
recovered
idea.
without incident. Addendum 2. All experiments are to be logged in file 178E. Experiment 178E1. Name, Dr. with Dr. and Dr. assisting.
Okay, just redact
Date,
all the names, why not?
19. Procedure. D-class subject is to be placed in secured test chamber containing SCP-178. The test chamber is to be observed via bulletproof glass window to adjacent control room and via audio and video recording devices. D-class subject will be instructed to wear SCP-178 and report what it observes until told otherwise.
Oh, they're gonna freak out. They're gonna freak the fuck out.
Subject D17831. Male, 41, no discernible mental abnormalities. Is placed in the chamber and told to wear SCP-178. Subject is not told of SCP-178's nature.
Oh, he's definitely going to freak out then.
Then immediately expresses distress by throwing SCP-178 away and covering its eyes while vocalizing fear. Research staff
how ugly are these
subject
things?
to describe the source of its distress. Subject unresponsive. Research staff attempts to calm subject. Subject responds by uncovering its face and looking around, appearing still to be distressed.
Can you still see it?
Research staff instructs the subject once again to describe the source of its distress. Subject responds by stating the presence of an unfamiliar entity in close proximity to its face the moment it wore SCP-178.
Oh god, that's
Research staff instructs subject to describe the entity in detail. Subject responds by stating entity was hideous and had too many eyes.
I wonder if
Research
that entity
staff
can hear
instructs
him.
Subject to describe the entity in greater detail. Subject states it did not manage to perceive many details before removing SCP-178. Research staff instructs subject to wear 178. The subject uncooperative.
Yeah,
Research
of course.
staff repeats instruction. Subject uncooperative. Research staff threatens subject with termination unless it cooperates. Subject uncooperative.
I think he'd
Testing
rather
ended,
die than see
and
that thing
subject
again.
is placed under surveillance to test for long-lasting symptoms of exposure. Subject displays symptoms of mild paranoia for 2 days before returning to normal behavioral patterns. Surveillance ended after 30 days, and subject terminated.
I mean, I can get the paranoia. You put it on, and there's something like right fucking there that you can't see without that on. You're gonna be thinking, it's like, where else is it? Right? Like, is it in my face right now? Is it breathing down my neck? Can't hear it, can't see it, can't feel it, nothing unless you're wearing that 3D glasses. But just knowing it's there, damn.
Note. Well, this wasn't very informative, but at least it confirms we have an actual anomalous object in our hands. Experiment 178E2. Name, Dr. with Dr. and Dr.
I wonder if it's the same people.
Date, 19. Procedure. D-class subject is to be placed in secured test chamber containing SCP-178. The test chamber is to be observed via bulletproof glass window to adjacent control
Pretty much
room
the same thing, huh?
and via audio and video recording devices. D-class subject will be instructed to wear SCP-178 and report what it observes until told otherwise.
Maybe tell them what they're gonna see.
Results. D63164, female, 31, no discernible mental abnormalities, is placed in the chamber and instructed to wear SCP-178. Subject is not told of SCP-178's true nature. Subject does as instructed and immediately begins emitting expletives and walking backwards towards the chamber's wall.
No surprise there.
Looking at something to its 1 o'clock. Research staff instructs subject to describe what it's seeing. Subject presses its back to chamber wall and describes seeing an entity standing halfway across the test chamber by the wall, looking at the wall. Research staff instructs subject to describe the entity in detail. Subject states the entity is bipedal, possesses 2 additional upper appendages, ending in large conical protrusions and a smooth head. Research staff instructs subject to provide additional details. Subject begins describing the entity and then suddenly expresses
Bipedal possesses 2 additional upper appendages ending in large Conical protrusions? What does that mean? Is it like... Does it mean he had beetle hands? Conical protrusions? That's what it sounds like a cone-shaped protrusion instead of a hand. I'm just thinking of forearms from Ben 10, except instead of, let's say, a second pair of arms down here, it's just got beetle arms. And that's kind of hilarious. But it's probably not that good looking.
Distress, stating, "Oh God, it's looking right at me." Subject collapses against the test chamber wall, still staring in the same direction. Research staff inquires as to whether the entity is exhibiting hostility or not. Subject states that it is not moving, but looking at it.
Menacingly.
Subject instructed to remove SCP-178. Subject refuses, stating that it does not trust the entity. Subject reminded that uncooperative behavior will result in termination. Subject removes SCP-178 and begins looking around the test chamber in distress.
There's that paranoia.
That it can no longer see the entity.
But you know it's
Subject
there,
instructed to
which
wear
is even scarier.
SCP-178. Subject complies and states that the entity is still looking at it. Subject instructed to report any changes in the entity's behavior. 2 minutes and 37 seconds pass before subject states the entity is no longer looking at it. Subject states entity is looking at the wall again. Subject reports no further changes for 17 minutes and 55 seconds. Test ended.
I mean, at that point, I think she would just be sitting there cross-legged, just staring at it. Just fucking gotten used to it because it's not moving or nothing. And it's just staring at the wall, which is apparently it's just glass. It's a bulletproof glass wall, right? So I wonder what it's staring out at. Is it... Now, would it be stuck in there? Or can it pass through walls like a fucking ghost? I don't know. These are kind of like ghost glasses, except it's just for a specific type.
Notes. It seems strange that the thing the subject saw was so disinterested, given the way the item came into Foundation attention. We didn't pick anything up in any of the recording equipment either. I wonder if this entity is really there or an illusion generated by the item.
Okay, I'm guessing there's another test coming up. I'm guessing this test they're going to have the next person try and touch the entity and they're going to get fucked up. With the notes right there, I feel like that's where this third test is going.
Experiment 178E3. Name, Dr.
And he's gonna get fucked up.
And Dr. assisting. Date, 19. Procedure. D-class subject is to be placed in secured test chamber containing
this looks a little different.
SCP-178.
It's a lot
The
longer.
test chamber is to be observed via bulletproof glass window to adjacent control room and via audio and video recording devices.
Oh wait, no, it's just a glass window. I thought the entire thing was made out of bulletproof glass. No. I guess it's just like a shed with a bulletproof glass window in it? Like a concrete shed or some shit like that?
A fractal blue and red image is to be placed on one wall of the test chamber, and a plastic bin containing 10 standard tennis balls is to be placed near the opposite wall.
What?
D-class subject will be told SCP-178 is an experiment in next-generation 3D specs, and that staring at the fractal image while wearing SCP-178 will allow it to see animated three-dimensional images.
Okay.
D-class subject will then be instructed to wear SCP-178 and report what it observes. In case the subject perceives any entities, it will be instructed to throw a tennis ball at it.
Throw a tennis ball at it. Okay.
Results.
I feel like that's still going to get him killed. Because that counts as interacting, right? I mean, unless it's just touching. Unless it just doesn't like to be touched. Well, we'll see.
D51441. Male. 27. Arson, murder.
Oh.
No discernible mental abnormality.
Wait, were the other... didn't state what the other two were, arrested for. I mean, the D-class personnel are like people that are like on death row or something, right? Is that it? Subjects that are set to be... I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. Huh. I'm gonna have to go back and look myself later, but I don't think he stated what the other two were, in chains for.
Is instructed to stand at the end of the test chamber, opposite the fractal image and wear SCP-178. Subject complies and expresses surprise and discomfort. Subject instructed to describe what it perceives. Subject states it perceives two entities standing in the room.
Oh, there's
One,
two now.
from now on referred to as Entity 1, next to the fractal image with its back to the subject, and the other, from now on referred to as Entity 2, crossing the room from left to right.
Oh.
Subject opines that the person who designed the animation is mentally unbalanced. Subject instructed to describe Entity 2's gait. Subject states it walks using both its legs and upper appendages. Subject equates Entity 2's gait to that of a gorilla if someone put its skeleton together wrong.
Oh.
Research staff inquires whether both entities are
That's
similar. Subject replies that apart from size, they appear to be generally similar.
So one's bigger than the
Subject
other.
then proceeds to describe entities fitting the description of the entity in Experiment 178E2. Subject instructed to pick up one tennis ball and throw it at Entity 2. Subject complies. Both the research staff and the audio recording devices observe the ball moving uninterrupted until it hits the floor on the opposite side of the test chamber. Subject expresses surprise and distress, attempting to back away for 0.7 seconds before severe lacerations begin appearing
I guess that
on its
counts
body.
too.
Appearance of lacerations continues for 4.7 seconds, until subject presumably expires from massive bleeding and trauma. Autopsy on expired subject reveals lacerations consistent with being slashed by 3 sharp objects, relatively thick and tapering to a point approximately 17 centimeters in length and 4 centimeters in maximum width.
That's a
Analysis
big boy.
of ball thrown by subject discovers only trace amounts of human sweat, matching subject D51441. Notes. Holy, it would appear that these things don't like being disturbed. On the other hand, that ball sailed through the air like nothing was there, and with the death of the subject, we cannot know if it indeed passed where the entity was or not. This is still far from conclusive, but the pattern of laceration matches the findings at the item's recovery site, so at least we've established beyond any doubt that it is dangerous. It's
same
interesting
thing that
to
killed
note
the little
that,
girl.
so far, the entities are pretty consistent in appearance. Despite variance between test subjects, I wonder if any non-violent interaction between the subject and the entities is possible.
Oh, is that the next test? Because that's probably going to end up
178E4.
terribly as well.
Name, Dr. with Dr. and Dr. assisting. Date, 19. Procedure. D-class subject is to be placed in secured test chamber containing SCP-178. Test chamber is to be observed via bulletproof glass window adjacent to control room, via audio and video recording devices, via infrared cameras, electromagnetic radiation sensors, and motion detectors. A fractal blue and red image is to be placed on one wall of the test chamber. D-class subject will be told SCP-178 is an experiment in next-generation 3D specs, and that staring at the fractal image while wearing SCP-178 will allow it to see 3-dimensional images. D-class subject will then be instructed to wear SCP-178 and report what it observes. In case the subject perceives any entities, it will be instructed to attempt to speak with them.
Well, my question's about to be answered.
Results. D84291.
Well, simply talking to it killed the person.
19.
19? What the fuck did she do?
Is instructed to stand near the wall opposite of the fractal image and wear SCP-178.
Oh, she's about to die.
Subject complies and immediately expresses revulsion. Subject instructed to describe what it perceives. Subject describes one entity similar to those previously reported, standing approximately 2 meters from it and looking at it. Subject instructed to attempt to speak to it. Subject appears confused as to why it would attempt to speak to an animated image. Research staff repeats instruction. Subject expresses irritation and says, "Hello, weird thing. How are you today?" in a bored manner. Lacerations begin appearing on the subject's torso and abdomen 0.2 seconds after subject finishes speaking. Subject's right arm severed above the elbow after 2.4 seconds. Laceration and subject vocalization stops after 8.4 seconds when the subject presumably expires.
Damn, just completely cut off her arm.
Autopsy on expired subject reveals the same kind of lacerations, indicating sharp objects approximately 21 centimeters in length and 5 centimeters in width.
Okay, but what about like going up to it and before you like talk to it, take off the glasses and then you talk to it? Is it still gonna fuck you up, or because you don't have it on anymore, is it just, huh? I mean, I feel like that should be okay, but I don't know. If it wasn't people that are crazy and talk to themselves a lot, are probably in a lot of trouble.
Notes. I guess that means we can assume that any attempt to interact with the entities ends in hostility, and nothing on any of the sensors either. We're establishing a pattern here, but the main question is still whether the death of the subjects is caused by the item or by external entities. I wonder if subjects not wearing the item can be affected by it. Experiment 178.
I guess
E5.
I'm about to learn my answer to my question.
And Dr. assisting. Date 19.
Wonder how close together all these
Procedure.
tests happened.
2 D-class
Oh, there's
subjects
2 of
are
them
to
this
be
time.
placed in secured test chamber containing SCP-178. The test chamber is to be observed via bulletproof glass window to adjacent control room, via audio and video recording devices, via infrared cameras, electromagnetic radiation sensors, and motion detectors. Both subjects will have general knowledge of the properties of SCP-178. One subject, designated Subject 1, will be instructed to wear SCP-178 and will describe to the other subject, designated Subject 2, the location and appearance of any perceived entities in the test chamber. Subject 2 will then attempt to interact with the entities.
Okay.
Results. Subject 1, D61955, female, 35, 3 counts of murder, grievous bodily harm,
Damn.
no discernible mental abnormality. And
I think after 3 counts of murder, she should have some kind of mental abnormality.
Subject 2, D57321, female, 27, no discernible mental abnormalities.
No info on what her crimes were, huh?
Subject 1 instructed to wear SCP-178.
Okay.
Subject 1 expresses dislike for the research staff. Subject 2 concurs. Research staff reminds both subjects that uncooperative behavior is grounds for termination. Subject 1 wears SCP-178 and begins emitting expletives. Subject 2 expresses distress and inquires as to the reason for Subject 1's consternation.
Consternation, that's a word.
Subject 1 states that there's one right behind you. Subject 2 turns around and states that it cannot see anything unusual. Research staff calms both subjects by assuring them that the perceived entities are harmless and instructs Subject 1 to assist Subject 2 in making contact with the entities. Subject 1 states that there is an entity about a foot in front of her, and that the entity's head is about 2 feet taller than her.
Damn.
Subject 2
Big
inquires
boy.
whether the entity is looking at it. Subject 1 replies in the affirmative.
Oh.
Subject 2 attempts to calm itself and proceeds to look where it considers the entity's head to be and say, hi there? Lacerations immediately begin appearing on Subject 2's torso and face for 0.9 seconds before Subject 2's neck is severed.
Oh! So you actually don't need to see it. Well, that kind of sucks. Or is it just because the other person can see? I don't fucking know, but goddamn. Just she was to her, she was just talking to air, and now got it decapitated.
Subject 1
Amazing.
realizes acute distress and runs towards the test chamber door. Subject 1 attempts to bludgeon the door open unsuccessfully for 5 seconds before turning around and saying, presumably to a perceived entity, no, get away.
Oh, great.
Subject
She's
1
dead too.
begins suffering lacerations across the abdomen and torso. Movement, laceration, and vocalization cease simultaneously after 17.3 seconds.
Damn, that's a
Autopsy on
long
expired
time.
subjects revealed 2 different laceration patterns. The relatively few lacerations suffered by Subject 2 are consistent with lacerations caused by 3 sharp objects approximately 27 centimeters in length and 8 centimeters in maximum width, while the many lacerations suffered by Subject 1 are consistent with lacerations caused by 3 sharp objects approximately 14 centimeters in length and 3 centimeters in width.
Those are some big boys, though. What the hell?
We still don't know whether the entities are actually there or illusions caused by SCP-178, but now we know that they can affect more than the wearer. This means that this object is potentially much more dangerous than we initially surmised. Interestingly enough, the two subjects showed different laceration patterns, as though they were inflicted by different entities. A shame we didn't ask Subject 1 about the number of entities in the room. We'll do better next time.
Oh, great, there's a next time.
It is also possible that Subject wouldn't have been harmed if she hadn't addressed the entities herself. That's also worth checking out. Experiment
2 more sacrifices coming up then, huh?
Name, Dr. with Dr. and Dr. assisting.
God damn, how many tests did they do?
Procedure. 2 D-class subjects are to be placed in secured test chamber containing SCP-178. The test chamber is to be observed via bulletproof glass window
I'm
to
assuming it's
adjacent
just going to be
control
the same.
via audio and video recording devices, via infrared cameras, electromagnetic radiation sensors, and motion detectors. Both subjects will have general knowledge of the properties of SCP-178. One subject, designated Subject 1, will be instructed to wear SCP-178.
That's the one that'll probably survive.
To the other subject, designated Subject 2, the location and appearance of any perceived entities in the test chamber.
That's the lamb for the slaughter.
Subject 2 will then attempt to interact with the entities. Subject 1 will be instructed not to speak or otherwise interact with entities at any eventuality. To ensure this, Subject 1 will be told that any attempt to make contact with the entities will result in termination.
I mean,
results.
It's going to result in termination
Subject
either way,
1,
so.
DA3616, male, 44, no discernible mental abnormality. And Subject 2, D36176.
I'm just going to assume
male,
all these guys are here for
52,
murder.
no
all of them.
discernible mental abnormalities
Every last test
are
subject.
placed in the test chamber. Subject 1 is instructed to wear SCP-178. Subject 1 uncooperative. Subject 1 instructed again to wear SCP-178. Subject 1 uncooperative. Subject 2 urges Subject 1 to cooperate for fear of punitive measures. Subject 1 wears SCP-178 and expresses surprise and disgust.
Well, yeah.
Research staff inquires as to the number of entities. Subject 1 states, "They're everywhere, Doc. There's 9 of them.
Damn.
With us."
Where do they come
1
from?
Then turns to look at the bulletproof glass window separating the test chamber from the control room and states, "And there's 3 in there with you.
Oh, God.
Look, there's one leaning right over your..." See Incident Report 17814 Alpha for more information.
Oh. Oh. They all died in there, didn't they?
Notes. Following the loss of all
Yes,
research
they did.
staff in Incident 17814 Alpha, the containment protocols have been revised.
So I'm guessing all of them in the research room kind of freaked the fuck out? How did they all die, though? That would mean all of them would have had to interact with it in some way. Sure, the first guy probably went like, what the fuck, like that, or some shit like that. But no. They all need to have at least been going like, hello, or some shit like that. And then gotten torn apart.
057.
Damn.
Experiment 178 E7.
Oh, they're still going.
Dr. with Dr. assisting.
No surprise. The last 3 doctors just fucking died, so.
Date 2000. Procedure. D-class subject is to be placed in secured test chamber containing SCP-178. The test chamber is to be divided into 2 partitions in a 5-to-1 ratio, with the smaller portion containing the
So did the D classes in the last one survive? Cause did they survive? Because I feel like none of them interacted, and it's just the researchers in the other room that freaked the fuck out and died. Questions.
chamber entrance separated by bulletproof glass with a small hole in the middle covered in steel mesh to allow the passage of sound from one partition to the other. The test chamber will be observed remotely via audio and video recording devices, via infrared cameras, electromagnetic radiation sensors,
Okay.
and motion detectors.
So they get rid of the windows so they can't be looked at anymore.
SCP-178's nature and instructed to wear SCP-178 and attempt to communicate with entities on the other side of the partition.
Okay.
Results.
He's still gonna die.
D13627.
He's still gonna die, isn't he?
Male, 52, rape, double homicide.
Oh,
No
that's
discernible
cool.
mental abnormalities. Is placed in the test chamber and instructed to wear SCP-178. Subject expresses displeasure but complies. Subject instructed to describe what it perceives. Subject describes 4 entities in the other partition. Subject states entities look docile, 2 of them jabbing the walls and the other 2
Jabbing
looking
the
at it
walls?
through the glass. Research staff inquires whether any entities are present in the subject's partition. The subject looks around and replies that none are present. Subject instructed to attempt to communicate with the entities. Subject expresses desire to get this over with. Subject says, presumably towards the perceived entities, "Hello, can you hear me?" before recoiling suddenly. Research staff inquires as to the reason the subject recoiled. The subject replies that the entities have begun pounding the glass with their upper appendages.
Oh.
Research staff inquires whether they are succeeding in causing any visible damage to the partition. Subject replies they are not. Audio recordings fail to pick up any sounds apart from those emitted by the subject.
So it is the things that they're seeing that's fucking them up. Okay.
Research staff inquires whether the subject can hear the entities pounding on the partition. Subject appears perplexed and replies to the negative.
Oh.
No changes
Can't hear
occur
it,
for
but he
10
can see
minutes
it.
and 14 seconds. Research staff announces the end of the experiment. Subject expresses relief and removes SCP-178, placing it on the floor. Testing chamber door opens and 2 security personnel, agents, demand that the subject comes with them, presumably to D-Class.
He's gonna get fucked up after he leaves, isn't it? Because all the doors are open. And they're just gonna follow him out and fuck him up. Is that it?
Cells. Subject turns towards door and begins complying when lacerations begin appearing across his face, torso, and upper arms.
Oh.
Subject
He's dead.
vocalizes distress, and both security personnel recoil and emit expletives. Agent radios a containment breach. Agent begins firing his weapon into the chamber, hitting and killing the subject after 2.1 seconds of being lacerated. Containment teams are mobilized.
Is the
to
agent gonna
testing
start to
area,
get
and the
fucked up
sector
now?
goes into lockdown. Searches are concluded after an hour and 4 minutes without any findings or further incidents, and lockdown is lifted. SCP-178 is found where subject D13627 dropped it. Note: that could have been catastrophic. First time we get to experiment on SCP-178, and the whole sector goes into lockdown. The brass aren't going to be pleased. I think we should come up with some lower risk experiments for the foreseeable future. I guess anywhere that attempts to establish contact with the entities can die even after removing SCP-178.
I mean, if it's just him, as long as nobody I mean, how did the agent that was shooting not get fucked up too? Because I'm sure the bullets must have at least passed through 1 or 2 of them. How lucky did he get?
It's interesting to note that Agent suffered no ill effect despite firing at the entity.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
estimate it's because he had only very limited knowledge about the entities observed by those who wear the item.
Okay. I guess if he didn't know what SCP-178 does, and he's just freaking out because apparently something's gonna do it. He doesn't know that it's something seen through the glasses, but it's just some kind of invisible force. Is that why? And it's not, and he doesn't know it's some kind of invisible existence. I'm not gonna say life form, because I don't even know if they're alive, but some kind of invisible existence, I guess.
Experiment 178E8. Name, Dr. with Dr. assisting. Date, 2000. Procedure.
Let's
D-Class
test this
subject
time.
is to be placed in secured test chamber containing SCP-178 and a video camera connected to monitor. The test chamber is to be observed remotely via audio and video recording devices, via infrared cameras, electromagnetic radiation sensors, and motion detectors. Subject is to be instructed to hold SCP-178 up to the camera and report what it sees on the monitor. The camera is both connected to the monitor and to an external recording device. Pending the success of the experiment, the research staff will submit a request to view the recording.
Is that gonna work?
Results. Subject D61286, female, 28, 15 counts of grievous bodily harm, 2 counts of murder, no discernible mental abnormalities.
Did she run over a crowd with a car? Is that what? How do you get 15 counts of grievous bodily harm with 2 murders? I'm assuming those 15 counts are on 15 different people, right? Plus 2 murders. She run over a group with her car? That's the only thing I could think of.
Is placed in the test chamber and instructed to pick up SCP-178 and hold it up to the camera. Subject complies and holds SCP-178 approximately 20 centimeters from the camera. Subject instructed to hold SCP-178 up to the camera so that it sees through it. Subject inquires as to which lens it should hold it to. Subject instructed to hold the red lens up to the camera. Subject complies. Research staff inquires whether the monitor displays anything unusual. Subject replies to the negative. Subject instructed to hold the blue lens up to the camera. Subject complies and reports that the monitor still does not display anything
So it's got to be both.
Subject instructed to put down the camera and wear SCP-178. Subject complies. Subject vocalizes acute distress, stumbling backwards while staring at the monitor. Research staff inquires as to the source of the subject's distress. Subject reports 3 entities crouched in front of the monitor, looking at it. Subject instructed to remove SCP-178. Test ended. Notes. It would appear that either the item functions similarly to ordinary stereoscopic glasses and requires 2 eyes, or that the effect isn't merely optic. There's a way to test that.
No, there is. And this test subject survived.
Experiment 178E9.
Until she was,
Name, Dr. with Dr. assisting. Date, non-applicable. Proposed, 20. Procedure.
So they haven't actually done this test?
Placed in secure test chamber containing SCP-178 and a special mount containing 2 small video cameras simulating a pair of human eyes connected to monitor that splices both images together in real time to create an image, similar to the way stereoscopic sight works. Test chamber observed remotely via audio and video recording devices, via infrared cameras, electromagnetic radiation sensors, and motion detectors.
So this is
Subject is to be instructed to hold SCP-178 up to the camera and report what he sees on the monitor.
So this is just proposed so far, right?
Pending success, the research staff will submit a request to view the recording. Test proposal awaiting approval by personnel with level 4 clearance or above. Addendum 3.
Okay.
Personnel with level 4 clearance are urged to read Incident Report 17814 Alpha. Reading Incident Report 17814 Alpha is mandatory for all personnel with level 4 clearance or higher, overseeing or approving experiments with the item. Warning. Failure to comply with Addendum 3 is grounds for disciplinary measures.
Wait, they're not going to tell us what happened in 17814 Alpha?
Okay.
Oh, come on.
I think that about does it for today.
I'm curious now.
Thank you all for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, that's interesting. Some freaking entities you can only see while wearing the 3D glasses. What's interesting is, I guess they can't go through walls, because what was that in the one test? It was jabbing the walls, and when it's... Yeah, this one. It's in like 2 different rooms, or I guess separated areas. And they're just, I guess, pounding the walls, trying to get to him. Yeah. So I guess... So they can't, like, walk through solid walls or solid objects. But how... Wait, they can't go through walls, but then objects can go through them if you can't perceive them. That's interesting. So, because with that tennis ball experiment, the tennis ball went right through where they were supposed to be, unless the dude missed terribly. But apparently, the tennis ball just went right through the sucker, and then, yeah, he murdered the guy for throwing the tennis ball. But yeah, so apparently they can't go through walls. It's such a weird thing. And then I was thinking of something else, but I don't remember now. But yeah, no. Oh, it was that one. That one that had like 9. It's like there's fucking 9 of them. Yeah, it's the one before this. Right here. Fucking everywhere. There's 9 of them here with us. And you can see through the window and told them there's 3 in there with them. Leaning right over your shoulder. Oh, I'm assuming shoulder says data expunge, but... And apparently they all freaked out, following the loss of all research staffs. So, yeah. There's 3 doctors for that one, right? So they all freaked out. Somehow. Because they knew... What would they have done, though? I can understand one of the docs. It's like, oh, it's leaning right over your shoulder, and he just freaks out and kind of goes like that, and just goes like, where? And it's like, try swatting at it like a fly. He's dead. But how did the other 2 freak out? Did they try talking to it, knowing that it was there? That's a question. But this is interesting. It's 3D glasses that allow you to see something that's always there, apparently. And now that's what I want. That's a question. Now, are these entities like everywhere? Like everywhere throughout the world, are there these invisible entities like looking over people's shoulders, staring at walls blankly, jabbing walls, I guess it said, randomly, you can't see or hear, or do they only exist in a certain area around these 3D glasses? That is the question. I would assume it's the latter instead of the former, but you never know. It's like only a certain area, like 50 meters around these glasses is the only place these entities actually exist, and nowhere else in the world. I'm hoping it's that other one. It's that way, because if they exist around the world, all over everywhere, you just can't see them. Yeah, now you know why some people suffer from paranoia, because they can sense these creatures even if they can't see them. Well, this is definitely an interesting one. Are you sure this is Euclid? I guess it is semi-easily contained as long as, you keep these glasses locked up. So yeah, that was definitely an interesting one. Jeez. Well, I'm not going to be talking to myself out loud for a while. I say as I do this. But yeah, no. That was definitely fun. If you want to see more SCP videos like this, I do have a link in the description to the creator's channel, the Volgun, to his channel. So he's got a lot of videos up of SCPs. Go check him out. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching with me, and goodbye.